donation from Upgraded Gaming that says, this donation goes out to Tim. Thanks for the great interview. And with that, I believe it is time for some spooters. It's time for Webbed Shadow of the Past. Take it away.
Hey there, I'm Shadow of the Past, and this is Webbed Any %. Webbed is a web-slinging 2D platformer just released 4 months ago where you play as a little spider girl going to rescue your shiny blue boyfriend after he's kidnapped by the bowerbird. Before my co-commentators introduce themselves, can I get the results of my donation incentives for the spider body and hat?
Okay, looks like the body choice is going to be boyfriend.
Let's go.
And the hat choice is going to be the princess crown.
Let's go. We're a beautiful boy.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So I have 2 wonderful members of the web community here to co-commentate with me, along with a special someone as a third commentator. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm SteelOsprei. I'm another speedrunner and streamer of the game. And I'm actually the only person here who hasn't held world record at some point.
Hey, I'm torqqes, and the only reason I'm still above Past on the leaderboard is because he keeps not recording his runs.
Calling me out?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm a co-developer of Webbed, and yes, I did, I suppose, hold world record for all of 3 days right at the start. Coming to you from Australia, so I'm a bit behind on the call, and very tired.
Yeah, it's currently, what, 5 a.m. there?
It's 5:27 on my clock.
Oh, geez. Thanks for getting up so early to participate in this. And
wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, it's so cool to have a developer who's so involved with the speedrunning community, so really appreciate you coming. And with that, I believe we are ready to go. Give me 1 second, actually. I want to edit one thing. One. All right. Now we're ready to go. So time will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, we're going to be dunking our boyfriend here into this pit because it is what's good for him, and he's an imposter. So if you notice, I'm also the boyfriend, and I'm nice and pretty with my little crown. So we're going to be skipping a cutscene here by prying open this piece of wood with a whole bunch of webs. And then immediately after that, we'll be skipping another cutscene by opening the journal as I enter this loading zone. And that will fling me into the hub and get me past the loading zone, or past the dialogue trigger. Now we're entering the anthill area, and we're going to be skipping a one-way door by once again using the journal. And yeah, I got it first try, I think.
Yeah, looks like it.
So there's a one-way door right there, and there's popping in. Now we're entering the anthill. That's the head ant there telling us to go and fix their stuff because it was all destroyed by the fair ants. So we're going to be going around to different parts of the anthill and fixing their stuff. So we're doing power first, then fuel, then water, the legs, and then finally the mandibles. So one thing you're probably going to notice right off the bat is I'm kind of flying with this item right here. I'll let Noah explain item hovering because you're actually the one who discovered it before the game even came out.
Yeah, so 2 weeks before we released, I was just messing around, just going fast to test to see if I found any bricks, and I discovered I could skip dialogue and jump really fast with the scroll wheel. I used that in my run and introduced all the runners to pretty much a 15-minute time save from that across all of it, and it keeps getting faster.
Yeah, that really kind of sped things up for that first week. He kind of put us a week ahead in terms of new tech.
Yeah, now's a good time for me to probably describe a bit more about the movement. Besides just like normal moving and jumping, there's 3 other main controls. Web swinging, which is basically just a grappling hook, and that's mostly what you're seeing him use to move around the screen like this. Web spinning, which lets you place webs that you can walk on or use to pull things, and we see a lot of that here in Ants because of all the puzzles. A lot of construction, a lot of you can also use it for some tech like here where you hang on the web instead of being pulled towards it. and then shooting lasers, which can break webs, push objects, and it also gives you a slight push backwards if you use it right. So sometimes we use that for movement. There's also a dance button, but that won't really be relevant till later, so I'll leave it till then.
So we've currently done power and fuel, and now we're in the water room, and honestly, we have to attach these 3 pipes, and the order that I've been doing these in has been constantly changing as time goes on. Like, I changed my order even just the other day. There's always room for improvement in this run.
Yeah, and different runners will often do like different setups for this, but you shouldn't go into it without one.
There we go, that went pretty well. So now we're backtracking the way we came, and we're gonna go back into the ant hub and gonna see a little surprise in there. So now the water's rising, we have to outrun it, but it's really easy. Like, we have more than enough time.
Yeah, the water doesn't kill you or anything, it's just kind of slow.
Yeah, and because I was fast in this room, that elevator right there was on a good cycle for me to get on it and climb back up. So this is the giant mech ant we're helping them develop. And so I am putting 1 pipe in the mech first, and I'm going to attach the 2nd pipe later. And that's just to save some time. There's a trap right there we can get past. And now we're going to be using the journal again, but honestly, this one is just like weird. We don't really know why this works the way it does. But basically, what's going to happen is a leg piece is going to pop out of a box that's normally up top, and it's just going to fall down here.
Yeah,
So
normally you would have to hover the small leg piece all the way up to the top, and it takes a ton of time, and it's really finicky. And as a side benefit of doing the journal transition there is that all the traps in the hallway right before it, which we call the hallway of death because you die in it all the time, they get knocked out of the way by the journal transition, and it just makes it way easier to get through that section.
Yeah, so we're delivering all the legs to the hub now to attach them to the giant mech. In this part, we kind of don't really have a set of what's that leg doing?
Never seen that before.
Yeah, we don't really have a good setup for getting these legs up here, so we just kind of web it a bunch and hope for the best.
Always use more webs when in doubt.
Not always. Just in this part, I think.
A lot of the time.
It's extra pity with the boyfriend, because normally the webs are just like, a plain white color, but because we're playing as the boyfriend skin, all the webs are rainbows, as you've noticed by now. So I'm gonna take a second to try and do a cool trick. That looks like it should be good, but I'm gonna try and attach all the legs at once. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that's too slow. Oh,
close.
Almost got it.
Almost.
60% style points.
All right, so now we put 1 drop of fuel in the mech and it's good to go. Nice $1 or 1 cent bill on the gasoline pump. And Torqqes, I'll let you explain this next trick.
Yeah, so mandibles is the last thing we need for the mech ant. Normally, we'd have to use a system of elevators and gears to get it up and then through the forge. But you can actually just grapple one end and laser it, almost like a pod racer. It's rather precise and difficult to control, but you did a good job of it there.
Yeah, it looks beautiful when it works.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be cooling off the mandible after heating it up. I'm going to try and do a cute fling here. Perfect.
Ooh, nice.
Man, this answer's going beautifully.
It really is.
All right, now we got to carry this over here for this guy. And we are just about done with the ants. Just going to do 1 more fling. Got it. Let's go.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
So yeah, this part originally took us like 20 minutes alone, and now we've got the whole run to under 20 minutes, so it's come a long way, especially with the item hovering. So up next, we're going to be doing the second biggest skip, which is getting us halfway up to the next area. So we're going to Dung next, and there's this landslide up here that's normally a one-way trip down from Dung to ants, but we can fling ourselves up into the loading zone. And then if I open the journal, I get past that metal door, and now I'm on the landslide.
Nice.
That metal door only is there because a tester found this way up in developing, and it ruined the experience, and so I had to make sure casual players wouldn't find it. I am so glad that speedrunners found a way past the door, because it changes the whole run.
Yeah, that tester must have been a speedrunner themselves, because I'm impressed that they found that.
Yeah, so now we're in the dung section. This section, you get to really see how fast you can go in this game. The gimmick of this section is that there's a lot of the like brown mud in the area you can't web onto, but you can slide and it conserves your momentum. So you really need to know like exactly where you're placing your webs because most places don't work. But once you get going, you really get going.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement. Like this section definitely focuses a lot on movement. And to elaborate on some of the movement mechanics in this game, when you press jump, about as you are releasing the grapple, you'll gain a small speed and height boost. Additionally, you can get a much larger speed boost if you maintain the jump spam at certain times, such as when moving through thin platforms, going in or out of water, or moving past geometry in a certain way. It basically sends you flying, and you'll be seeing all of that in this section.
Yeah, this is really where like the skill level of different players really start showing, because you really have to know where you're webbing at every single moment, because you can web off screen further than how far I can see on the screen. So yeah, level knowledge is very, very important.
Not laser swimming, SMH.
I'm not brave enough.
Too dangerous.
Yeah, if you probably noticed that I can use a laser to boost myself, and you can even do that in the water section, but I just don't.
By the way, I want to point out that skipping the dialogue at the Beatles there requires you to be like right next to the ceiling. We still miss it like half the time. It only saves like a second, but it's really cool to see it here.
So now we're pushing the dung ball down the hill so we can use it as fuel for the airship that we're going to use to fly up to the Sky Bower to rescue our boyfriend. I missed that journal transition. I never miss that. That's no big deal. So yeah, so we're going to be using one of these dung balls.
Doesn't look like the switch will have triggered.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
So I'm going to web it onto this, flip the switch, and we're going to be moving on to the B area, which is a lot of people's favorite area. So it's also a lot of moving around, moving very fast. And so our objective here is to collect 20 pollen to bring to the queen bee so that she can hatch a princess. And so an interesting part about this area is there's multiple paths you can take to get to the hive at the end, and there's 42 pollen that you can collect. So we have to kind of plan out what were the best pollen we could grab for the fastest time. And I think we got it right pretty much on the first time, but there's been like 1 or 2 pollen that we've swapped out since then. So this is a big screen here. That's all right.
Yeah, this
all right.
This area I think really shows off webs like at its best. When there's tons of surfaces everywhere you can web, almost anywhere you throw a web will attach. Massive open areas that you can swing through. It really just the creativity of the movement in this area is almost boundless.
Just don't hit the spikes.
Yeah, just don't hit the spikes.
Spikes are bad. So now in this area, you're supposed to be using a leaf to kind of fly over, like on these different like wind tunnel parts, but we don't do that.
You can skip it with good movement.
Yeah. No, if you wanted to explain the inspiration for the leaves.
Yeah, so the parachute leaves were an old part of the game when it first started as a prototype as a Just Cause 2 2D demake to take the parachute, grappling hook, and a gun and make a fun little toy out of that, basically. And then it turned into a spider.
Yeah, it really kind of like, just like it's amazing how game development can change and just naturally progress into different elements for the game as time goes on.
Yeah, it ended up being one of the best movement systems I've ever played myself, though.
Yeah, it's like it feel like a spider.
All right, here's the last part of bees, by the way.
Yep, so now the princess is hatching and she's going to carry us back to the hub so she can repair the balloon for us. And so coming up, after we're taken back to the hub, we have to put the balloon back together and use that to fly up to the Skybower, which normally puts us into a 2-minute autoscroller, but we don't want to do that. So instead, we are going to destroy the balloon at a very specific time, and doing that will allow us to get through the canopy of the hub and then fly up to the Skybower with an ant that we're going to take hostage and hover off of like we have been in the ant area.
This is the run killer, by the way.
Yeah.
It definitely used to be more of a run killer, though.
I'm going to hide foreground decorations just to make sure I can see.
This has gone through many iterations throughout the months we've been speedrunning this.
Yeah, originally we would web it to like the side of the leaves over there, and it would break at a very specific time.
Now we use
but
lasers.
now we just, get the fuel in there.
The thing we used to hover up to the bower was also changing a lot. First, I think we used like a rock first, right?
Yeah.
That was like the first. And then we used little branches that you break off the big branches. And now we use an ant, which is the funniest and also probably the best one we've used so far.
Yeah, it's actually like super more reliable now. The branches were really fast. The branches were really fast, but they have a tendency to like break if you breathe on them, so it was really unreliable.
Yeah, meanwhile the rock is a bit slow.
Let's go, first
Nice. First try balloon skip.
Island bonk?
try. No, we're not.
Not at this spot. So those were a bit of a preview of what the bower is going to be like. It turns out there's these blue opals everywhere which hover in the air and have like anti-gravity powers.
It's orb time, everyone.
Orb time.
So yeah, we have to bring the orbs to the exit in each room, and that opens the door for us. Yeah, this part's a little interesting because you have to like use this island instead of an orb, so kind of got to finagle it over.
Yeah, you can't spam jump to item hover with things that are too heavy, so that island you have to laser instead.
That room with the big gem is pretty interesting though, because you can just kind of hover into the top part of the room and it spits you out at like a right angle, which puts you in a good place to put in the little receptacle.
So this is the last gem room now.
It's at the end of this menacing hallway.
Ooh, I wonder what it could be. Is it? It's me, my other boyfriend. But you were never kidnapped. What are you doing here? So now we're in the escort section where we have to use the boyfriend to open the doors now. But he's slow, so I'm gonna drag him along with jump spamming. So it's kind of like I'm attaching a leash to him like he's a dog on a really short collar. But he's happy, he doesn't mind.
Yeah, normally you would be using the dance button in this place. Whenever you use it, he walks towards you. And you'd be webbing like bridges and stuff for him to walk across so that he can get up places.
I wonder what that is.
So we
important.
We were left alone for the first few rooms, but now the bowerbird is here. And the thing about
never
the
seen that trick
bowerbird
work,
is
by
that
the way.
it can eat you.
Just like that.
Why are you going for that?
It works. I've done it before. I swear. It'll work one of these times.
Here's the last room before the final confrontation, in which there's 5 different places the bird can strike from. But of course, ideally, we don't really see much of the bird regardless. We just kind of zoom by for the most part.
Yeah, that was definitely not a bad screen.
Yeah.
And now the birds come back to kidnap our boyfriend one more time, and the princess is going to carry us over so we can shoot him in the face.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is some of my favorite music in the game. Like every time I hear it, it actually just makes me play better. I've even tried running, just listening to this music on repeat only, but it didn't quite work out.
Stan did an incredible job with all of the music, so big ups there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now we're doing a trick that one of the other developers actually suggested we try, which is we have to drag this mech over to the bird, and instead of dragging it ourselves, we're going to attach it to the princess here. And
she's
she moves
watching
around.
in case we fall, basically.
Yeah, she moves around very erratically, but we can use her to drag the mech over. So I'm going to wait for a cue, and I'm going to jump down here, skip cutscene, and and that went beautifully and runs just about over. Time will be when the screen fades to black in about 20 seconds. And we got, because we skipped the opening cutscene, we got the two boyfriends here, so we kind of got a bit of a harem going on. And we didn't get the poop ending. Sometimes the boyfriend will get stuck in the bird and come out of his butt when he flies away. And that's time. So yeah, that was Webbed 80%. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to torqqes, Steel, and Noah for joining me. If you had any last comments.
I like spiders.
I think we all like spiders here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this is a really charming little game, and there's a lot of it that we don't even get to show off in the speedrun. There's a lot of areas and collectibles and dialogues that we skip over for obvious reasons, so I highly recommend picking it up if you get a chance. If you have a couple hours, it's definitely worth playing. This is actually my first speed game, so I wanted to shout out some of the other members of the community. Looking at you, Cash Monkey, Giraudo, Flan, and everyone else, you know who you are.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for playing Webbed at GDQ. It's an honor to have a game that I worked on be here, and it's an honor to be here myself, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making this game. It's honestly one of the favorite games that I've played this past year, so thank you so much. What was my time, by the way? If I know that.
So we have to add the intro bit to it, but 17:21.
Oh my god.
Oh god. That is very close to world record.
What's your PB now past right now?
This.
What was it?
It was 1822, so this is almost world record.
That's incredible.
Yeah, this is a fast moving category right now.
I think this might be world record. Yeah.
No way. I don't.
17:21, right?
Let's see what the in-game time says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was my first ever time being in an event like this, so big thanks to AGDQ for giving me a shot and letting us show off this amazing little game. And if you'd like to check out the game for yourself, it's only $10 on Steam. And if you want to try speedrunning it yourself, you can check out the leaderboard on speedrun.com and join the web Discord where we can chat and help you learn.
We're nice, we don't fight.
1709. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that was better than your practice, wasn't it?
I think that's world record.
I think that might be world record.
Yeah.
We'll have to retime it later, but yeah, that's really good. Holy crap.
I came in being second place, coming out being third place. Nice.
But
I'm fourth by like a minute, so my place doesn't change.
Yeah, so the current world record holder, well, before this run, is actually a new runner named Flan, and he only started running barely a month ago. So if you pick the game up, who knows, you could get the world record next. And shout outs to my family watching at home. And to end on a bit of a somber note, my dad passed away from colon cancer about 20 years ago after a 4-year fight with it. So being able to participate in this charity event for cancer research has honestly been an honor. So thanks again, AGDQ, and thank you everyone for watching. Enjoy the rest of the event.
What an amazing run, even though I'm not a fan of spooters. Wait a minute. We just had a spider and crash team racing. We have spiders everywhere in Web. And then we're going to be having Mega Man X4, in which Luis Miguel will fight Web Spider. I think I've been set up. I'm pretty sure I've been set up. We have a $20 donation from SteelOsprei that says $20 for a sub 20 run. Webbed. Love donates $50 that says I love Webbed. Dancing spiders, lasers, skateboard. It's got everything. Cash Monkey, thank you for your $100 donation. Hey Pass, good luck on the Webbed PB. Proud of all 4 of you, like a parent you never wanted. Looking forward to the forbidden triple boyfriend ending. $10 from a Quishia that says, good luck Pass, the Forgotten City Speedrun crew is rooting for you. And I think we need to stretch, hydrate, and take a break.
I know, but I wanted to play that. Iris. 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 No! This isn't happening! There's no reason for me to go on! What am I fighting?
All right, everyone, we're now going to head over to the interview for Psychonauts 2 and It Takes Two with J Hobbs and It's Bytes. Take it away.
Welcome back, AGDQ 2022 online. My name is J Hobbs, and I am joined by It's Bytes, as Edobin just described, who is going to be running Psychonauts 2 coming up a little bit later today. And then later in the marathon, a second run, It Takes Two with Who is Hyper. Bytes, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So, how you doing? How you feeling? We're not too far away from your first run.
It's exciting, actually, being that this is my first marathon run, and it's being GDQ as well.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I've known you for a little bit now because you actually helped me and Kizaron learn It Takes Two, which was super cool. And I have to once again thank you for that because you and Hyper did such an amazing job helping us. But let's start with your Psychonauts 2 run because that's the one coming up, sooner. That's coming up today. Tell me a little bit about why you like running Psychonauts 2, this brand new video game.
Well, the thing that got me into it initially was the movement. It was very satisfying seeing all the development into the speedrun. But playing it casually, it's kind of something you can figure out on your own almost, where it's maybe this could be faster somewhere in the level, and then boom, you're in the Discord, and it's everyone who's had all the experience from Psychonauts 1 coming into Psychonauts 2, and then just watching the entire bloom of the new run just kind of develop, where it just gets better and better, seeing all the movement tech coming in, and, all the little exploits we can do.
It's super exciting being on that cutting edge, getting to experiment with stuff right as it's getting discovered. I couldn't agree more. So with Psychonauts 2, there is a lot of excellent movement and stuff, but are we going to be, skipping entire brains, or are we going to be still kind of seeing most of the game? What kind of run is this? Give us a little bit of a preview.
So Psychonauts 2, we're basically running every single brain, every mind in the game. There are no major skips other than actual level skips within the minds. Because what the game has is the journal objectives that you have to fulfill in order to kind of proceed into the game. So not huge skips. You will see the entire game, just skipping cutscenes, movement, everything like that.
Now, that being said, though, the last time you actually ran this game on the GDQ channel was for a GDQ hotfix episode of Game Masters, if I remember correctly. Or no, sorry, Testing Grounds. And I remember there's a new skip that had been found since that run that or a new technique that is going to be skipping quite a bit within those mines. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but how hard has it been for you to learn that new tech since then?
It's actually not that complicated. The only thing is that it's hard to control. So it is simple, but it's not easy kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
But yeah, ever since that testing grounds, I didn't run it myself. I only did like the introduction to all the tech.
True. Yeah.
That was Demonic Robots, which is also on my couch. Well, the commentary. But yeah, there is a new tech. It's really fun to kind of look at. Excited to kind of show it off for GDQ. It actually came up before I even submitted to GDQ. So that actually changed a lot.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it because I think it's just a really fun, like, watch it happen. But for anybody familiar with some Source games and a term called prop flying, you know, might be kind of similar. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. There was flying in Psychonauts 1, and you'll see it again in Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to describe it. All right, well, everybody can definitely check out the Psychonauts 2 run coming up right after Mega Man X4. But briefly before we get out of here, I want to ask you about your second run, because you're also going to be one half of the It Takes Two team. Who is Hyper is going to be the other runner for that one. So tell me what it was like kind of preparing for not one, but two runs here at GDQ.
I tend to focus more on It Takes Two itself. There's a lot of major skips in that one that are definitely important. That has probably the best movement I've played in any game like in my life. It's super fluid. It's super satisfying. Once you see the skips, like you'll see what I mean when like I put a lot of work into trying to perfect this game almost, and show it off for the run, because it is Game of the Year for 2021. So yeah, it's got a lot like going with it, like for what it's worth. It's an exciting run.
I think it's a super cool run. I totally agree. The movement like speaks for itself with that run. It's fantastic. I gotta get some Ratchet and Clank runners to play It Takes Two, and I gotta get you and Bytes and a lot of you and Hyper and the other It Takes Two runners to play some Ratchet and Clank games, because like the movement just like that exists within those games kind of reminds me a little bit about each other, and just the variety of the way you have like 9 ways to tackle any situation that you find yourself in, and you're going to use all of them. I think that's super cool. And co-op runs are always super fun. So last question for you before we get out of here. Who is better, May or Cody?
May all the way.
May all the way. Okay. All right. So you hear that, Hyper? Byte says he's better than you. All right. Come on. We had to get a jab in there somewhere. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Bytes. And I wish you the best of luck on both your runs, but especially the Psychonauts 2 run that everybody can catch in right after Mega Man X4. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, everyone, it is time for me to read a little bit of more donations, some that I didn't get to catch. We had a $10 donation from Heels Good Man that says, game is cute, Spooter is cute, host is cute. Nah, that's a lie. Chat is cute, it's all cute. Love to all. Nuts Tanma, thank you for your $100 donation that says dev commentary runs are some of my favorite runs at GDQ events, and Webbed is an incredibly cute, slightly silly game. Shout out to the spider with the screaming lasers inside. $100 from Core O's that says Monkey Ball Bonus Game, which if I recall we still haven't met that incentive. I think right now we're at 62,729 and we need $80,019. I know we can make this. We can make this happen. You are going to make it happen. Make sure you are sending in those donations and you're sending in those incentives. Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh. Mr. Game & Shout donates $100, and I got to do an impression, and I'm going to do a horrible job, and I'm so sorry. Parker, is this some kind of joke? Get back out here right now and get me pictures of the other web-slinging menace. That was really bad. That's why I don't do male voices. We have $100 from Clizix that says, I always look forward to GDQ events. Excited another is finally here.